Hey my friends, welcome back to another Thinking Out Loud with Froggy. Today we are going to be discussing the 5070 Ti and the 9070 XT. There's been a new leak that's come out suggesting that 9070 XT is going to be about 42% stronger at 4K than the 7900 GRE. According to the tech power-up thing, that puts it just under 5080, right above 7900 XTX, a few percentage point. Now, according to this leak, these are AMD numbers, so obviously you take those however the heck you want to take those. But let's just theoretically think, like I said, thinking out loud with Froggy, if this is just a few percentage points under the 5080, and obviously above 5070 Ti, obviously above 7900 XTX, and we get that relative performance for an AMD GPU, but still lacking the CUDA operations, obviously the work stuff. Does that make the 9070 XT a more attractive GPU to you? And what kind of a price range, let me know in the comment section, what kind of a price range do you think that should command? Obviously, the 5070 Ti launched at a $750 MSRP, but we are seeing cards north of $1,000. I myself paid $939 for the Asus Prime OC edition. So when I look at that, you gotta understand, like I am an AMD fan. I do appreciate and like the AMD experience more, so obviously my content is gonna feel a little more biased, and that's one thing that I would really like to move away from this generation is I want to look at these experiences, like fully look at these experiences, and like I said, having two builds, honestly guys, it's opened my eyes up a lot. It's helped me really look at the Nvidia experience a little bit more, glean some different understanding of how that works, being able to literally go from one right to the other and play around with both of these at the same time. It's given me it's given me some better insight, and this is probably something that I should have done a long time ago. I do believe that this is going to help me become more professional when it comes to this stuff, but at the same time, I'm not necessarily looking into becoming like the other tech reviewers. I'm not. Like my goal, okay, has always been, I'm a consumer just like you. I want to bring you that consumer experience. I've had a lot of people in the comments section tell me that yes, Frog, that is very needed in the overall space. Like I said in another video just the other day, I think that PC gaming, PC tech reviews, stuff like that have just become so robotic to the point where we are not getting the full experience. Like I said, my journey with PC started with Nvidia and always kind of just felt like, hey man, something's missing. This isn't doing what everybody claims it's doing. The overall hype and excitement just goes away so fast once you get into that experience. Like the honeymoon phase for me with Nvidia just instantly vaporized. It's gone. Like I'm like, how are people so excited and happy about this? Yet I just find myself confused, frustrated. I feel like I overpay for an experience that I don't seem to be getting. I have to do research to figure out how to set it up. Like I said in a couple videos back, the Nvidia experience is good, but it is set up, I honestly believe, out of the box for that work environment. I do not believe that it's set up out of box for the gaming experience. But after playing around with things and finding 10-bit color and going through there and literally setting this up more to my liking, I'm sure I haven't figured everything else yet, but the experience has gotten better. It has improved to the point where it's like, okay, I now see Nvidia as more of an advanced user experience, to be completely honest with you. Now, the thing that really impresses me the most about AMD, and the thing that I absolutely love and want more of, is the user experience out of the box. All of the other stuff that comes with the Nvidia stuff, the stuff that you're paying extra for, the stuff that they just kind of, you know, layer on top, the real goal, real purpose of what an Nvidia GPU is, all of that stuff is fine and definitely probably worth the money for those people that are going to use that GPU to create income for themselves. Absolutely. I'm not trying to sway those people away from that Nvidia experience. That might be something that they absolutely need. And with my experience with AMD is you have to find programs that are user-friendly for them to work. And when you do find that and you do achieve that, you are going to get an incredible experience. Like, it will be performant for you. My editing software, everything that I use on the Nvidia GPU absolutely is just as good as the Nvidia experience, if not better, because of the, you know, extra VRAM or all of that other things that I get with the Nvidia or with the AMD experience. So I'm not trying to pull those people away, but if your main goal for gaming or for PC is just gaming, you're gonna get, at least in my experience, a better overall user experience out of the AMD side of things. Now, the elephant in the room, obviously, you know, like the DLSS, especially now the DLSS 4 is out. We're going to get into that, guys. I'm working on a video right now that I think is going to turn a lot of heads, and people are going to be like, wow, this is interesting. But I will give you kind of a sneak preview. Let's just talk about it. The elephant in the room is DLSS 4. Obviously, AMD is going to be bringing out their FSR 4. But DLSS 4, in my brief experience with this, since getting the 4070 Super, being able to actually get in there, and I'm just using the Nvidia the app to force, you know, the newer transformer model on some of these games. I'm not 100% sure that I'm actually getting it right every time, because sometimes it doesn't let me apply, or it does let me apply or something, but I'm definitely putting in work. That's why the video's taking a little bit longer to get out. It's just because I'm still trying to figure this stuff out. But the games that I have seen it in and gotten it to work, DLSS 4 is a major improvement. And obviously a lot of this is going to stem from the fact that I'm now utilizing 10-bit color on the Nvidia system, so therefore I am getting a better overall color representation, more in line with what I like and appreciate. So when I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at DLSS 4, and I'm looking at how DLSS 4 transforms the experience. Now, you've heard a lot of claims about people out there saying that it's better than native, it adds more detail than native, and those claims, for the most part, are true. Now, I do see extra detail, but I haven't done any side-by-side yet. But I do feel like it appears that I'm getting more detail. It does appear that like that 3D pop that I'm always talking about is back. The overall image quality looks less sharp, less clinical than what it used to look like. And to be fair, that has kind of went away just with having 10-bit color as well. So there are some things, and I am taking this Nvidia thing a lot more seriously, because I do feel like you as my community are entitled, not just owed or whatever, entitled to positive, to an honest, fair representation of both of these GPUs. It does me no good to spend $939 on a 5070 Ti to try to skew the information, just because, or to not put in that extra legwork when my AMD card is like doing a better job. You know what I mean? Like that is something that I am going to change. And to be completely honest with you guys, it's not that I've ever set out to do that or be deceitful or anything like that. I really never have. Some of it's honest mistakes, but like I said in another video, I've already invested so much time into making that content that I just put it out there and let people decide and stuff like that, because you know, but if you ever ask me, I'll always be completely honest with you. I think a lot of that was I was using my capture card to capture the Nvidia stuff, and now I've got, you know, Shadow Play working really good. It's doing pretty good, but I am noticing the limitations of the 4070 Super while creating this content, my friends. Like, I am running into that because I am trying to capture at 4K. a lot of that kind of stuff. And we are getting some of the, you know, the screen flicker, the OLED flicker and stuff like that when utilizing frame generation with higher settings and, you know, on this 4070 Super, but that's all going to be going away a little bit. I'm actually kind of thinking about holding back a little bit on my DLSS 4 video until I get the 5070 Ti so that I can give you a more accurate representation and have a stronger power limit to actually compare to the freaking 7900 XTX, because the 4070 Super, while a good card, still kind of lacks in a lot of that that basic power level to be able to push 4K at a point where I feel it's actually a viable option. Like I do not feel like 4070 Super is a viable option for 4K, regardless of what my other colleagues in the YouTube space have said. I don't feel like it is, but it does get the job done on some games. Now, I've also been thinking really hard about this AMD experience and the numbers that were getting leaked, with it being 42% faster than like a 7900 GRE, with how it's going to set inside the new hierarchy of GPUs, what that means for gamers, what that means for content creators, what that just means for AMD in general. And, you know, a lot of people, I mean, so this is my take on it, okay? This is kind of my take on it. If AMD is comparing this to 7900 GRE, which is, you know, I would say, you know, obviously the GRE is pretty much their XT model of 7800 XT, or I don't know. Yeah, it was definitely, see, this is where it kind of gets a little bit confusing. They're using GRE, 7900 GRE, a card that was never even meant to ship to the US markets, but then found its way here after a lot of people being like, hey, I want that card, I want that. After this card has found its way into the US market, and now they're basing 9070 XT off of that kind of is a little bit weird, because I thought that GRE was kind of still built on the same die that XTX and XT were built on. So that would put it more in line with, I mean, but gosh, then it's got 64 cores or whatever. Okay, like I said, thinking out loud. So if we go back and we look at this from that point of view, like if they're bringing this out and they're comparing it to last generation's GRE card, which is a pretty potent, pretty powerful card, still very, very good at 1440p, definitely really decent at entry-level 4K with upscaling, stuff like that. GRE is an absolute beast. It's definitely, yeah, like that card was like a weird freaking yeah, that's probably what the 7800 XT should have just been, because it would have just been awesome. And $550 for that card was absolutely a fair price. The 7800 XT at $500 was pretty good, but the GRE kind of murkied the waters a little bit for that card, and kind of was like, why would I buy that when I could just buy that? But then I can kind of see like, okay, your 7800 XT is competing with 4070, your GRE is competing with the 4070 Super. So when you look at that and you take that into consideration, you start to look at these upticks, okay? And this I'm trying to get to the point, but the dog keeps walking in here and like distracting me. So when I'm looking at that, okay, and with all of the pricing, okay, that's going on right now in the market, it's wild, it's wacky, it's absolutely freaking batshit crazy. I agree with that, I do. But here's my thing to AMD. It's like, okay, and this is kind of what I think they're gonna do. This is what I think they're gonna do. I think they are gonna try to base pricing off of, if these leaks are real and this is coming from AMD, I'm gonna say that, disclaimer, this is not me doing anything. It kind of sounds like they have been pushed into the corner of $550 price range. So I would expect the MSRP to be $550, but we already know AIBs are going to be significantly higher. We already know that. Your Sapphire card's probably going to run you about $750. I feel like we're going to be paying more money. I feel like the AIBs are going to be charging us that extra premium. They're going to probably try to hide behind tariffs, whatever, at least here for the US market. So I would expect AMD to kind of pull a fast one on us, just like Nvidia is right now. And I don't think that's cool either way. If AMD is really confident that they can price this at $550 and not lose money and make a good solid product, then sell it at $550, AMD. Don't do what Nvidia is doing to their customers by giving them one price, and then it just reinforces that that's okay for Nvidia to do that. I really would like to see. I really would like to see if the pricing is going to be $550, that the AIBs don't really go over $650. $100 is more than sufficient, I believe, but I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I've pretty much stood firm on, like, if this is the power level that we're getting, I don't think $699 is unreasonable. I don't think that's unreasonable. But I mean, we're talking about like the top end freaking AIB partner cards. Like, we're talking good quality, like Sapphire Nitro Plus. We're talking like the cream of the crop cards from like the brand. I believe that $750 for a 5070 XT is absolutely atrocious. Like, that's like, no, these cards should be, they really should be, if they're mid-range cards, they really should try to stay around that $500 to $550 range, and maybe $600 for AIBs. I don't know. I haven't been in a PC game long enough, and I just know that like the power level that I have right now out of 7900 XTX for $550, $600, that's awesome. That's awesome. Like that is awesome power. So that's, I guess that's kind of where I base it at. I'm looking at like my card, my 7900 XTX is like, wow, this is still very impressive. Like, I still love it. I still think it's incredible. I'm still gaming at high settings, ultra settings on mostly everything I play on. I'm utilizing that on a 3440 by 1440p monitor. A lot of things. And then when I come back and I look at the experience that I've been able to game on and have this past 20 months on AMD, that really just gives me that like I'm excited about it potentially being $700 and under. I am. I'm excited about that. We're going to get better ray tracing performance. We're going to get better AI upscaler. So it's like, I'm excited about the prospect of having a newer refresh generation, having better specs, having better, just better overall experience. But yeah, for a lower price. Now, I get where everybody's coming from, and it really does kind of does defeat the purpose to say it's a mid-range card and then start charging, a couple generations back freaking top end prices for it. But what do we do, man? What do we do? I was over on X today before I went to church, and I saw this post from Hardware Unboxed that they're like, AMD and Nvidia reach out to those guys and they ask them for pricing, and I'm like, okay, well, that kind of makes a lot of sense. So I don't know, guys. Maybe our YouTubers and stuff that are that chummy with AMD and Nvidia, maybe they're not working in our best interests. Maybe they're out there testing the freaking waters to see what customers are going to pay. To see, yeah, I don't know. And yeah, dude, it's crazy. I'm really not trying to lob any freaking things, but I don't know, man. It just kind of seems weird that the prices keep going up and up and up and up, and we don't really see any actual real pushback. I mean, we obviously hear with the lip service, oh man, these prices are ridiculous, but then they proceed to continue to promote said products by making lots of content on them. I personally, I'm like, look, man, I don't necessarily agree with the prices, but I'm paying for them myself. Like, I'm paying for them myself as a way to be like, okay, is this worth it? So yeah, of course I'm going to cover that card. I'm paying my full money. I'm paying full price for that. But I mean, if I'm in a position where I'm getting free GPUs and I'm like telling my community, they're like, no man, these prices are trash, these products, blah, 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 and then I proceed to cover them, I don't know, man. That just kind of seems a little disingenuous to me. It does. It really does. So, all right, my friends, thank you for watching this episode. let me know how you guys are feeling about this. Let me know if there's things that you guys would like me to test when I do get these cards in my possession. Let me know what things you want to see. You know, like I said, I'm always open to suggestions. I definitely do listen to those, and I do read your comments, so let me know. Yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.